Hello, BookTube. Well, our mail streak continues. It's been a little bit every day without missing a day. And a package came today, but in a way, in the spirit of the thing, it does violate our streak because I know it's not a book. I know what it is, and it's not a book. And boy, is it packed. Well, I mean, this thing is just, it's got a million miles of tape and padding on it. We will one of the benefits of having no working sense of touch is that you just ram your fingers in. Okay. All right. I'm just going to open it on the side here rather than down the spine because this thing is covered in tape. Oh, somebody's curious. But it's not a toy. I think I know exactly what this is. Boy, and I don't object that whoever did this packed it really well. Oh, yes. There we go. All right. This is... some of you wags are going to say this is Coles to Newcastle. This is a computer. I found another $80 computer online. And it comes in... I'm not going to do a normal tech unboxing video because I don't have the specs right at my fingertips the way all the tech gurus do, including the two that I know personally. And also because of the most annoying thing about their channels. It's almost like they made a decision amongst themselves privately to have this be the same in every video. They all have empty bookshelves behind them. Bookshelves behind them that have knickknacks on them or the YouTube silver play button or whatever, but no books. There are never any books on these tech unboxing channels. Anyway, the thing that we're talking about comes in this very nice zippered sleeve, which I'm never going to use because I'm not going to take my stuff anywhere, but still. So we have, oh, very nice. Okay, so we have the standard power cord, and there we have this thing here. It's that kind of a power cord, so it may be interchangeable with some others that I have, and also a mouse. Don't particularly use them, but it's nice to have one. It's a very nice gesture. And then we have the thing itself. This is an HP Stream. It's a blue computer. I'm not going to be so shallow as to imply that I bought it because it was blue. I bought it because of its form factor. I don't think this will be charged because this is not a refurbished. But oh my. Isn't that just a lovely little thing? Isn't that just lovely? Bean, don't you think that's lovely? I think it's lovely. It's a nice, solid build, too. Very nice. This is the HP Stream in blue. I'm pretty sure this is going to come to me with no power. We shall see. Oh, no, it's powering up. I will still power it anyway, but... this is of interest to me for a couple of reasons. First of all, I spent just the other day, I spent $80 on a new Chromebook. And it's been great. It's been fantastic. It's probably my favorite Chromebook that I own so far. But then I thought, an HP Stream? I mean, an actual computer for $80? Let's see what that's like. I've never done that before. Once before, a couple of years ago. I'm going to have to dig through this thing and see. There's a whole bunch of stuff on here. I'm going to have to just see what all the stuff I get is and what I can do with it. A couple of years ago, I bought a computer that was like $25, but it was for parts. Because at the time, I had a boy, I had an 18-year-old who was a tech whiz. Just most 18-year-olds know this stuff much better than I ever will. But this particular boy went beyond just being a digital native. He really knew this stuff, knew how to take things apart, knew what all the pieces were. I admit, I have a kind of fascination with watching those kinds of repair videos on YouTube. Even though I could never do them and don't understand them at all, there's still something fascinating about watching one of these things that I use every day taken apart, piece by piece. And this kid could do that. So we ordered a $25 MacBook for parts. But he ended up not being able to do anything with it. He took it apart. He laid it all out on the table. But then when he was done taking it apart, not only could he not make that machine functional again in even a bare bones way, he joked quite a bit a couple of years ago joked with me quite a bit about how little I need a computer to do. That's absolutely true. I need a word processor. They just don't make them anymore, or I would still use mine. If I had a word processor that connected to the internet but did nothing else, that's all I basically need. I love browsing and watching YouTube as much as anybody, but I don't need there's a vast ecosystem of used computers out there that are there only because their graphics cards can't keep up with new video games. All the rest of them work just fine. Everything about the machine works just fine. The only reason its original owner is dumping it for $200 is because they need a new computer, because all they use it for is playing video games. And video games get more and more complex, more and more of a drain on the system every year. But back then, this kid said, you hardly use any of the capabilities of your MacBook. But nevertheless, we couldn't refurbish that $25 MacBook into anything that I could use. And he also couldn't find any parts from it that would make any use to use on either of my two MacBooks. The idea we were thinking about, I have two MacBooks that are very old. I have a MacBook Pro and a MacBook Air that are not so old. They're getting on. They're about 10 years old. But I have a couple of others that are even older than that, much older. They look older. Their form factor is completely different. They don't have anything like what a normal Mac looks like. And they still work just fine. Both of them do. One of them doesn't hold a charge unless it's plugged in, but I don't go anywhere with my computers. I don't take them from room to room. That one, it lived on my desk forever and ever because it was fine as a desktop laptop, as long as I wasn't going to move it, as long as it could be plugged in at all times. And the other one, the little white one, my little white plastic MacBook, works just fine. The only reason that I don't use it all the time is because the keys are slowly cracking, no matter how gentle I am with it. But the game plan back then was that we would take that $25 MacBook, tear it apart, lay all the parts out, see which parts were in really good shape, and then swap them, work them out, work them into those older MacBooks to make them a little better. But that didn't work either. And that's the only time I've ever bought a computer this cheap. Chromebooks, yes. Chromebooks can be cheap. I think if you have needs as basic as mine, I'd be crazy to pay anything more than $150 for a Chromebook. The first Chromebook that I bought, I overpaid for because I wasn't sure what I was getting. I didn't know what it was. I would never do that now. And God almighty, when I think about the days when I got my first MacBook Air for $1,000, like $1,200 almost, and I was in awe of what kind of a machine it was. And I still have that, and it still works. And I still use maybe 10% of what its capabilities are. And that was a long time ago. I would never pay more than $200 for my home, what the tech channels call my daily driver. I would never pay more than $200 for the computer that I use all the time. Never. My needs are just too primitive. It doesn't make any sense. As much as I might like the cool factor, anybody would like the cool factor, I would never pay that much money for a MacBook. Just because it's a MacBook. Never. They're beautiful machines, and they're really, really well done. But this is going to do everything that I need a computer to do. And I'll be curious to see what kind of a job this does. I asked the seller why they were selling this for so little online. And I asked them specifically, is there anything wrong with it? I can't remember. This HP Stream comes in 2 gigs and 4 gigs of RAM, and I can't remember which one I got. I'm hoping that I got the 2 gigs of RAM because I don't need any more than that. But we'll see. I'll look into all its innards and because this was obviously this was just boxed up and sent to me. That is very unwise. That is very unwise. This was not factory reset. This should have been stripped clean to the bone before it was sent to a stranger. But I asked the person online. I said, I'm kind of curious in this blue HP Stream, but I noticed yours is less than half the price that I'm seeing elsewhere. Why? What's wrong with it? I'm still learning my way. I'm no expert like Sean Standfast. I'm still learning my way when it comes to online commerce. But as far as I'm concerned, online, in person, in outer space, the customer is always within his rights to ask, what's wrong with this thing? Why are you selling it for so little? That's not me slurring anyone's honesty. That's me asking an obvious question. So I asked that question. And the seller came back to me very quickly and said, there's nothing wrong with it at all. We're just replacing it. The system, I think it was a schoolroom, maybe they said, is upgrading, and we don't need this anymore. So we put it on a cutthroat price online so that somebody would snap it up, and you did. So I'm taking them at their word. I'm taking them at their word that this holds a charge. It obviously does because it's not plugged in and it's going fine. And I'm taking them at their word for the rest of it. I will look at all the folderol and everything and see. Wow, very nice. A pretty blue computer. All right. Well, I have a toy for the evening, don't I? It's just as well. I will strip it and streamline it. Get all the previous owned stuff off it. Set all the parameters the way I like them, and then I'll give it a test. I have a deadline piece of prose to do tonight. I'll give it a test and see if it works on that. It's not one of the things that interested me about this is that it's not the Apple ecosystem at all. It's completely different. It's much closer to my yoga book, my Lenovo yoga books, or my Lenovo. It's a different kind of system. It's a different kind of ecosystem. I'm always curious to see if maybe a different ecosystem might be better. But boy, I like the form factor here. It's as light as a feather. I love the look of the keyboard. This brushed effect there on the blue there. I love it. I love the look of it. So I will give it a nice robust charge, and then we will see what we shall see. So our mail stream does kind of continue. I'm going to do a huge amount of reading on this thing, but it's not a book. Except technically, right? Isn't technically the nomenclature for this class of computer, isn't this technically a notebook? Am I squeaking by? Is it possible? I don't think, this was delivered alone. I don't think I'm going to get any books today, or I'd have seen them already. But I have plenty of books. I have plenty of books. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Hours of enjoyment digging into this thing and seeing what it does and doesn't do. So there's our Wednesday, or no, is this Wednesday? No, Thursday. This is Thursday. That's our Thursday mail. I don't know how anybody keeps any day straight. I always have a hard time with it anyway. I have my whole life. But now none of you are going to work. So how are you keeping the day straight? Anyway, how nice. All right, so I got that Chromebook I have been pounding on it for the last few days. It is wonderful. I love it. Absolutely love it. The one with the camera that turns, so you can turn the camera up to point at the ceiling so that it's not spying on you. You can turn it around so to point it out like that. And it has that machine also has a bunch of other features that I am very much enjoying exploring. And once again, the reason why I got that Chromebook in the first place is because I keep being reminded that I ever need to go back to my MacBooks, because I do everything now on a Chromebook. It takes barely any time at all to make yourself an expert at all the ways that you can get around whatever the few things is that a Chromebook can't do, that a MacBook can do. So I've been on that for a while, and I got that one because it was $80 and because it had the built-in carry handle and the turnable camera, and also because I'm always interested in a new Chromebook. And then when I was right around the time that I was ordering that, I saw this for $80. So I got this, but I promise, I promise, my addict's promise here, I promise I am not going to buy any more technology for at least a week, 2 weeks even. Maybe I'll even tough out the month of May before I get another computer, because this just adds to the pile, and now I'm going to explore this and see what kind of fun I can have. But I'll wrap this up. That's at least some mail. It's not a book, but we'll maybe have books tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Thank you, BookTube.